Okay, you're welcome to another video again today. I'm happy that you are here. The fact that you even touched this video, tapped on this video alone to want to hear everything I want to say. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And I promise to not make this conversation too lengthy, but I'm always very excited whenever I get to talk about real estate because it is one of the sectors that you can really get to build wealth from, not just for current benefits, but for future benefits, for generational benefits, right? Real estate has that capacity, right? Worldwide, that's one interesting thing and about it. And I'm always very excited to guide people through this process. And in case you are in Nigeria, you're in Port Harcourt, outside Nigeria, and you're looking for a company, one of the reputable companies here in the city of Port Harcourt to invest true in real estate, or you want real estate consultation, real estate guides, Nexora Properties is one of those companies. I said one of those companies because, of course, there are other reputable companies, but Nexora Properties is one of them. We help you, we guide you through the right locations to invest, how you can get massive turnovers from real estate here in the city of Port Harcourt, and anything that has to do with real estate consults, you can actually contact Necessary Properties. So, but why are we here today? We are here because there's a very, very interesting thing about real estate that it's very fascinating when you think about it, which is, why does land appreciate? Why does land appreciate? Why? We've always been hearing this phrase, real estate appreciates, real estate appreciates. Why? It's very interesting, especially with the fact that you don't get to do anything with land. You don't get to do anything on your land. You don't need to do anything on your land before it appreciates. Your land is just, it can be sitting vacantly there for years, but it's increasing in value. It's just appreciating. It's very mind-blowing. It's like a mystery. But then it is not a mystery. There are factors, there are things that give rise to that outcome. We're just going to be talking about it in this video. I have two things that I highlighted here, and we're going to be looking down into them. So I urge you to just follow me gradually on this video. I promise to share value to you. All right. Before we go into that discussion, I remember Dr. Olumide, one of his videos I watched, where he was talking about how they bought a property outside Nigeria, and the property did not increase in value. But before I go into that, even must first understand that real estate always increases in value. Land will always increase in value, always, but not at the same pace. There are lands that have the potential or capacity to increase in 3 years. There are some that have the capacity to increase in 5 years. There are some others that have the capacity to increase in 10 years. There are some that may not even increase, right? But it's based on location, and it's based on what you want to use the land for. When you know what you want to use the land for, then you can know the location to look out for. So he said when they bought the land did not increase in value up till date. The land did not increase in value. And it's not, if we look into it, it's not because the land will not increase in value, or it's not his fault, but that's an economic problem. Because if the purpose of him buying that land was for the purpose of him selling after a while, then it is going to be considered a failed transaction, because there is no increase in price over the years, right? But if the purpose of him buying which was actually the purpose of him buying, is for agriculture rather, then it can work. By that way, his purpose is not really to resell. His purpose is just for agriculture. And because that's the mindset, that's the reason for buying the land. He knows what form of agriculture to do that can make the land give him money, that can make that particular location give him money, not necessarily for the purpose of reselling, which most people just want to do, to buy a property, to buy a land and just resell after a while to make more money, which is not bad. But for those kind of persons, you need to be strategic. But if you're doing agricultural purposes, you know the kind of locations to look out for, and you know what to expect from the land, and you know what to not expect from the land. So I just wanted to establish that fact first. I will always keep saying one thing again, that when in real estate, most times, the value is not in the land. When it comes to real estate, people need to understand one thing, not just in real estate, even across all sector, the value of a thing is not in the thing. Let me bring it down, since we're talking about real estate. The value of a property is not in the property. The value of a property is in the people, is in you. The value of the value of a location is in you. The value of a location is in me. And by people, I also mean government bodies. So it is people that bring, what I'm trying to say is, it is people that bring development to a place. I mean, maybe I'm just going to make a separate video based on this so that we don't stay too long on this. But you must understand that land does not just increase on its own out of nothing. People bring development to a place before there can be an increase. And so let's move on to the topic for today. Why does land appreciate? Why does land appreciate? Land appreciates because I'm just going to list two factors. Especially here in Nigeria, the appreciation of land is based on, we're going to be looking at geographical size or geographical area of Nigeria and population. These are the two factors I want to focus on: population growth and the geographical size of Nigeria. Now, I did a research and I discovered from the research that the geographical area of Nigeria is 923,768 kilometers square. I'll go again, 923,768 kilometers square. That is the total geographical size of Nigeria. That's the total size of Nigeria, including water and land. But the part of that figure that is just land is 910,768 kilometers square. 910,768 kilometers square. That part is land, while the remaining part, which is 13,000 kilometers square, is occupied by water. Now, this is very important because in other parts of the world, there are places in this world that there are no more lands to sell. Not like there's no more land to sell, but you barely find land in a location that you need, except if you want to use it for business purpose that location would fit into, especially for industrial purpose. Because when it comes to real estate, anything that has to do with industry or companies, big, massive production companies, has to be somewhere that is not within residential access, right? So there are countries in the part of this world that they don't really have much land to sell. So what people do is they buy floors in buildings. So you get to see countries that they can take off the roof in that particular building. They will take off the roof and add floors to it. So people buy floors. So if this building has 10 floors, and because we need more people that need more houses or need somewhere to stay, they can take off the roof of a particular building and add extra floors to it so that people can have where to actually stay. And shelter is actually one of the basic amenities of life. So people will always need where to stay. But what happens in countries where there are no more lands that you can build? This is what those kind of places do. And you usually see this in most of the developed countries in the world. But because we are Nigerians and because we're talking about Nigerians, according to these figures, this literally shows that we have our land area or our land size. We have so much land in excess to sell. We have so much land in excess because the part of that, the total land size that is occupied, that is land, is 910,768 kilometers square. And the part that is water is just 13,000 kilometers square. This shows that there is so much land to sell in Nigeria. Yes, this is showing that there is so much land to sell. We have land for spare in Nigeria. But there is something that makes it more significant, which is where population growth comes in. Now, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel will always say one thing. If you watch his video very well, he will always say one thing, which is everybody, especially in Nigeria, we are all fighting for land that is not increasing. The population keeps increasing, but the size of land will never increase. They don't make more of land. That's what he's trying to say. God cannot make more lands, but people keep increasing. That's very significant because when God made the world, he made just one man, and it was just one man in the surface of this earth. Now, I want you to follow me gradually in this video. It was just one man that was in the surface of this earth. And God commanded man to actually multiply. And today, of course, that one man has become many men. Now, here's the thing. The same one man that was occupying the same land size, but today we've grown in population. Population has increased. The land size did not increase. God did not feel like, oh, because the population has increased, let me increase the size of the earth. No. It is still the same land size, but with population on the high side. According to statistics also, in Nigeria, as at 1960, the population of Nigeria was approximately 45 million persons. 45 million persons as at 1960. And as at moving on to 2010, the population grew to approximately 159 million persons as at 2010. Moving on from 2010, the population grew as at 2023, from 2010 to 2023, the population grew from 159 million persons to 228 million persons approximately. This is 2023. This is 2023 figure I just called. But now we are in 2026. I'm very sure, in fact, 1,000,000% sure that population, that number, that figure has increased 1,000,000 times. The significant thing there is the population increased, but the land size did not increase. So take, for instance, we had just one person in Nigeria. For instance, we had just one person in Nigeria. This is 2026. We have grown to over 250 million plus persons. The land size did not increase, but the population increased. What is that telling you? According to economics, that simply means the increase in population will give rise to increase in demand. I hope you are following me. What I'm trying to say here is over 250 million persons in this country is fighting to get at least a plot. If we even do our calculation very well, maybe I will make a separate video on that. Everybody is entitled to at least a minimum of 3 plots. Over 250 million persons is fighting over the same land size. It's amazing and it's mind-blowing. And the truth about this is the population will increase. 2050, the population will increase. I'm very sure. Nigeria is one of the countries that the population, the rate of population growth in this country is very massive and is very rapid. Because I say that because government is not really doing it. Nigeria is one of the countries that population, government is not really doing anything about the population when it comes to in Nigeria. It's one of the countries that government is not really doing anything about the population. The population growth is not really regulated in this country, unlike other countries that are developed. The population growth in most countries that are developed is regulated, but in Nigeria, it's not regulated. That's why you can see families that are giving birth to 5 children. And the funniest thing about that is they are giving birth to more. And the people that are giving birth to more, if you really take a look at it, are the people that don't have the capacity to actually do that. But let's leave that. But what I'm just simply trying to say here is Nigeria is so amazing that the population size of this country is not being regulated. And what that simply means is families are being formed every day, because when a man and a woman meet and they get married, the next thing they start thinking of is how to give birth, right? And based on what they want, every family, every couple know how many kids they want. There are people that are okay with 2. There are people that are okay with 4. There are people that are okay with 5. There are people that have 11 children. And this tells on the economy. All these things tells on the economy of the country. Why? Because if you're giving birth to 2 kids, or if you're giving birth to 4 kids, that calls for more space. You cannot have 4 kids and be living in a 1-bedroom flat. I don't know how you want to do that. If that calls for more space. And in situations whereby these kids get to grow up into adults and they start venturing into businesses, or now they are fit enough to take care of themselves and they need a space of their own, that is also real estate. There are people that put up businesses today. They want a space. This is real estate. At every point in life, everybody wants to build their own houses. Everybody wants to live rentage. That is real estate. You can see in the whole of this drama, everybody is fighting for the same land size. Why the land size remains stagnant, remains constant, it does not increase, it does not change. The whole of this population is fighting for the same land size. So tell me, why would it not increase? Another thing about the country is the economy does not affect real estate. The economy of the country does not really affect real estate. Rather, it is the population that gives birth to the increase in value of land. The population does not really affect real estate. but sorry, the economy does not really affect real estate, but the population does. The population has an effect on the economy. And because of that single fact, there is definitely going to be an increase in value or in demand for land. I had a client some time ago that as at 2025, early 2025, wanted to buy a property when we're selling it for 1.5 million naira. And he had the money, he had the need, but for some reason that I could not tell. Of course, in this real estate business, we are used to, I will get back to you. We used to, I will get back to you. So for some reason I could not tell, he was delaying. And a couple of months, after like 4 months down the line, the property went from 1.5 million naira to 2 million naira. And after a while, it's moved from 2 million naira to 2.5 million naira. And when he got to me, telling me he was ready to buy the property, I told him he's not selling for 1.5 million naira again. It's now selling for 2.5 million naira. And he started shouting, why? I didn't know what to tell him. I, I didn't even know what to explain to him because I did not increase the price. Nature just did its own thing. And that's one thing about real estate. And that's why we always say, if you're not buying for the initial price it's selling for, you are on the losing side because you're going to be buying at a more expensive price than the initial price. So those who bought on time actually positioning themselves more better. So for these two single factors alone, real estate will always increase in price, because of the fact that the land size does not increase, but the population keep increasing. Real estate will always increase in price. So and for this, and another part to this is why it will also increase. Everybody is literally fighting over the same land size. So if I'm thinking of buying 2 plots in a particular location, there's somebody somewhere that is thinking of buying 5 plots in that same location. There's somebody somewhere that's thinking of buying 4 plots. There's somebody somewhere that's thinking of buying 10 plots in that same location. And the more people are buying in that particular location, is creating more demand in that location. And the more there's an increase in demand, the more the price will increase. It's as simple as that. If there is no demand, then it will be cheap. That's the simple. It means people are not interested. But the more people are interested in getting from this particular location, then the demand is high. The price will automatically start going up. That's how real estate works. I believe by now I've been able to add 1 or 2 value to you. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do well to subscribe to this channel because there are loads and loads and loads of information and value that you can actually get from us regarding real estate, how you can do real estate the right way, how you can position yourself very well and make massive returns from real estate. Stay well and stay blessed until I see you next time.